SubhanAllah. So these singers that sing now, they sing as a result of a system that was put in place by Al-Qindi. So Justin Bieber, he has to thank Al-Qindi. He has to say, man, Al-Qindi. That was a joke. I thought that was funny. No problem. Colombia is a cold crowd, I guess. Okay. So Al-Qindi, he created this system, and he created 7 main tones of recitation. And through them, people later on, they started to become more creative. People started, combining between tones and making new tones. So now they say there are 10 main ones. There were 7 original ones that Al-Qindi made, and inshallah, I will go through them with you, inshallah. So basically, the point of these are that based on your understanding of the meaning of the ayah, you recite in a certain tone to relay the message, sort of. And I find this very efficient because a lot of people these days don't speak Arabic. Although, subhanAllah, and I didn't get to spend much time on this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose that Arabic would be the language that would express His knowledge. SubhanAllah, and we can understand this. It's very hard to understand, but if you like take away, if you think with me a little deeply, you can understand. Allah had the knowledge in a way that we can't understand, and He chose Arabic. Then He created the Arabic language to be able to accommodate the meanings that were expressed, subhanAllah, from the Quran. Do you see that? So subhanAllah. Now again, not many people, not everybody understands Arabic these days. So I find that this is a very efficient means to, sending the message to those who don't understand. So there are 7 main tones, and the 7 tones, there's what is that thing called? I forgot what it's called. But basically, they group together all the 7 tones in a phrase, in an Arabic phrase. It is صُنِعَ بِسَحَرٍ. صُنِعَ بِسَحَرٍ. So each one of these letters in this phrase is representative of one of the tones. So the first one is harf al-sad, sad, okay? And sad represents the maqam called saba, saba. So the first maqam is saba. Maqam is tone. Maqam is the Arabic word for tone, okay? So saba is a tone that is used to evoke a very sad feeling. A crying, or almost you feel like you want to cry when you hear these words. So for example, someone who is reading in Saba will say something like this. He will say, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin. You see that? It's very sad, right? It's almost this screeching noise, like, oh, what's going on here? What's going on, right? SubhanAllah. So a moment in ayat that have to do with hellfire and punishment, they will read this, SubhanAllah. They will read these ayahs. مَأْوَاهُمْ جَهَنَّمُ وَبِئْسَ الْمِهَادِ. Their destiny is hellfire. And that is the worst place to end up, SubhanAllah. Do you see that? So it sends the message. It sends the message without even, subhanAllah, having to translate it or anything like that. That is sabr. Then you have, next is nahawand, which is noon. So suni'a bisahar. Okay? The next letter is noon, and it is for nahawand. By the way, there's one of them that I don't know yet. I'm still working on it, so I'm not going to mention that. Okay? Anyway, so nahawand is actually a favorite by most people. Those of you who knows Shaykh Al-Affasi. Who knows Al-Affasi? Right? You guys know Al-Affasi? Yeah, Al-Affasi, he reads with this maqam. Okay, he reads with maqam and nahawand. The scholars of maqamat, again remember, maqam is the word for tones. Okay? The scholars of maqamat, they say that nahawand is Malik al-maqamat, is the king of maqamat. SubhanAllah. So a person who reads, and this is really, subhanAllah, it's a little complicated to describe the purpose of this maqam because it is just very emotional, and at times it is very soothing. It also fluctuates a lot, subhanAllah. I mean, it's really hard to describe. It's just something you feel, subhanAllah. So I'll leave that to your discussion, inshallah. Someone who reads like this will say, for example, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin. Do you see how it goes up and down? Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, You see, it goes up and down, it's soothing, it's striking, right, subhanAllah. So that is nahwan. Again, now don't get confused. Whether be it deep or be it high pitched, it can be the same tone. You see what I mean? Inshallah, we'll get into that. Okay? The next maqam is ajam. Ajam is, for a lack of a better phrase, okay, it is the explosive maqam, right? That's a pretty bad word to use, I know. But anyways, it really just jumps. It's a constant flow for a little bit, and then it just jumps out. Who knows Shaykh Abdul Basit Abdul Samad? Shaykh Abdul Basit, he reads very slowly. Yes, he exercises this every once in a while. For example, let me think. You also, yes?
I have a question. Isn't Ajam the way most Egyptian reciters read?
Yes, Ajam is very famous, and Abdul Basit is Egyptian. And Muhammad Sadiq al-Minshawi is also Egyptian. They all read with this, yes. It is a maqam that they enjoy. SubhanAllah, it is one that they all enjoy and they all end up using, all of them. Even Mustafa Sadiq al-Rafi'i and many others. It's not just him, all of them, yeah, SubhanAllah. By Ajam, for example, إِنَّمَا إِلَهُكُمُ See how it jumped up out of him? إِنَّمَا إِلَهُكُمُ الَّذِي لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا هُ. You see that? So it is explosive. Alright? That is ajam. The next maqam is bayat. Bayat is one of my favorite. It is very soothing. And those of you who know Shaykh al-Shuraim, who knows al-Shuraim? He is in Mecca. He exercises bayat a lot. Bayat is, for example, سيقول السفهاء من الناس ما ولاهم عن قبلتهم التي كانوا عليها قل لله المشرق والمغرب. You see how it's soothing? It's a soothing ayah. Also, many of the Qur'an, when they begin, like Abdul Basit as well, they begin with bayat. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Right? They do that. وأيوب إذ نادى ربه أني مسني الضر وأنت أرحم الراحمين. You see, it's very soothing. It could also be very high. وأيوب إذ نادى ربه أني مسني الضر وأنت أرحم الراحمين. See, very soothing, but subhanAllah, it is high or low, it doesn't matter. SubhanAllah. Excuse me, my voice is I'm losing my voice. So, that was bayat. The next one is sika, which is with the letter C. Sika is a very joyous maqam. I can't do sika yet. I'm trying to learn. So many dua for me that I learn it. I also, when you get into this, it's a lot of fun because sometimes you're like, I don't really like that maqam anyway. So let me just stick to this one. SubhanAllah, that's how it ends up becoming. Like maybe I find that a lot of times people are bothered by sabah, the really sad one, right? People are bothered, like, bro, don't do that too much. I don't like that one, SubhanAllah. So they say just stick to I want to be happy, bro. Like cheer me up. I'm coming to the masjid. I want to be like happy, and you're making me cry here. Just make me happy, SubhanAllah. I want tears of joy, SubhanAllah. So that's what it ends up becoming. So that's sika. So we're not going to talk about that. The next one is Hijaz. Hijaz resembles sabah. It is also more on the sad side. It is a gloomy. They call it the gloomy maqam. It's very gloomy. For example, they'll say, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا سَوَاءٌ عَلَيْهِمْ أَأَنذَرْتَهُمْ أَمْ لَمْ تُنذِرْهُمْ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. right? It's gloomy. It's like setting, I feel like in Halloween or something, right? SubhanAllah. So that is Hijaz. And that is called Hijaz. Also, it could be very high. When recited in a high pitch, it's very striking. Like, for example, let me see. وَسِيقَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا إِلَى جَهَنَّمَ زُمَرًا. You see, it's very high, striking. It strikes you. So a lot of times, even if it's about like heaven, but it's very striking, they will use that maqam, subhanAllah. So again, it gets very complicated, it's very nice. SubhanAllah, you know, sometimes people come to me and they say, you know, like, I can't find room for creativity in Islam. I was like, what are you talking about, bro? This is everything that you need in terms of creativity right here. So subhanAllah, I guess it just needs some exploration. And the last one, we're going to leave it on a good note, inshallah, is rust. Not rust, like not rust, okay? Rust is a very cheerful tone. Who knows Sudaisi? Sudaisi, he reads the whole Quran. And by the way, some sheikhs do that. They just read the whole Quran in one tone. They don't want to bother themselves. They just, I'm going to do this, that's it. Right, subhanAllah. Others, they want to bother themselves. They like to. And you know, it's up to whatever they want, subhanAllah. So, Sudais recites like that. For example, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin. For example, وَاتْلُ عَلَيْهِمْ نَبَأَ ابْنَيْ آدَمَ بِالْحَقِّ إِذْ قَرَّبَا قُرْبَانًا فَتُقُبِّلَ مِنْ أَحَدِهِمَا وَلَمْ يُتَقَبَّلْ مِنَ الْآخَرِ قَالَ لَأَقْتُلَنَّكَ. See, very happy, so cheerful. Like, where's the candy, right? It feels like there's candy somewhere here, right? Or Mickey Mouse. I don't know, I like Mickey Mouse when I was young. I feel like, whenever I want to get happy, I think Mickey Mouse, and I get happy. SubhanAllah. Okay? So, subhanAllah, these are the 7 maqamat, and you can notice. Also, one thing that I also wanted to say is that it is not subject just to the ways that I just recited. The scholars, they say, al-maqamu kal-lawn. The maqam, or the tone, is like a color. For example, I'm trying to see. Okay, that is brown or beige, and this is also brown. But are they the same brown? No, they are different. You see that? So maqam is the same way. There's another way to do rust that is also cheerful, as long as it follows 2 conditions. It follows the musical notation that was gathered by al-Qindi, okay, and also if it evokes the same emotion. If it follows these 2 conditions, then it is that maqam. So for example, As-Sudais reads rust in the way that I just read to you, okay? But Al-Ghamidi, for example, he also reads rust, but he reads it in a different way. For example, he recites, الَّذِينَ يُجَادِلُونَ فِي آيَاتِ اللَّهِ بِغَيْرِ سُلْطَانٍ أَتَاهُمْ كَبُرَ مَقْتًا عِندَ اللَّهِ وَعِندَ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا كَذَلِكَ يَطْبَعُ اللَّهُ عَلَى كُلِّ قَلْبِ مُتَكَبِّرٍ جَبَّارٍ. You see that? It's also happy, very cheerful, but it is also rust. It sounds completely different than a Sudais. Do you see? That is where the room for creativity exists. Inshallah. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. And remember, yes?
Is it only a difference in the tone, or is it there are some differences in the rules of tajweed as well between them?
Tajweed is another topic. Tajweed are the rules of pronunciation. The way the Quran is to be pronunciated. For example, you don't say وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ. You say وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ. That's tajweed. Okay? For example, وَلَا الضَّالِّينَ. You see, I elongated the vowel. Usually I don't have to elongate the vowel, but because of the rule of tajweed that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed, this is what I'm telling to you right now, in terms of tones, intonations, this is just human